Alright, so I have some, this is the original lug nuts, and the steel lug nuts. So I got some aluminum ones from Goodwin Racing. These are 7075 T6 forged, cold forged. So I have my little OHA scale here. Let's see how much of a weight difference they are. So right now it's in grams, I believe. So the stock one is 31.4. Let's see if they're all consistent. 31.2, 31.4, 31.4. So that seems to be pretty consistent right there. So 31 point up. Oh, that. My scale is kind of, maybe this mat's not leveled or something. So it was 31.4, 21.9, basically 10 grams. 21.9, so 10.5 grams. Excuse me, 10 and not 10.5 grams, 9.5 grams. 22. So about 9.5 grams difference. 22. 9.5 gram difference. That's not that much of a difference, but it's, you know, it's almost 1/3 less, right? 31.3, 21.9. Yeah, so just less than 1/3 of a weight difference. Let's do all four of them. 87.7, 125.5. So basically just under 1/3 of the weight difference. Yeah, it's not that much of a weight difference. I think part of it has to do with the fact that, you know, these ones are a lot longer. Now, if it was shorter like the stock one, it definitely weigh even less. But I think one of the reasons why they did this is, why Goodwin did this is because if you were to use different studs, you know, instead of the factory studs, because the aftermarket studs are actually a little bit longer for, like, if you were to put, say, different wheels on, where the wheel spacing, the thickness there, it might be a little thicker, or maybe some people add in the little wheel spacer, you know, the hub spacer, to set their wheel out further, make the wheel stick out a little bit further. So that would take up space, right? So if you did those things, you would need the lugs to be a little bit longer. And if the lugs are a little bit longer, and actually those aftermarket lugs are quite a bit longer, and you can't use the stock one because it'll bottom out at the it'll bottom out here. So this one, hopefully it won't. But then they also make aftermarket ones, meant for racing, where it's a through hole, so there's no end cap here. But I'm using the stock lugs, so I'm sticking with with end cap, because I don't want the exposed end cap, because I don't want dirt and corrosion and all that stuff to get into the threads right there. When it gets wet and stuff, it'll slowly work, and dirtiness will slowly get in there. So I want it to be as capped off as possible. So so let's look at the setup here. So I already put 3 of them on already, or 3 wheels on already, I should say. So I want to put on the last ones. So what I want to do is I have a brass wire brush here. I'm gonna brush the threads clean real fast. I don't want any gunk between the threads. It should be, when you do stuff, they should be always clean. I mean, people never clean this thing anyways, and I usually don't, unless it gets real bad. But in this case, because aluminum, I want the aluminum threads to be as nice as possible, as far as keep it in good shape, keep it as nice as possible, keep the threads as good shape as possible, because aluminum is softer than steel. Even though that one is 7075 T6 cold forge, it's still not as hard as steel is. So it could basically wear a little bit more, and if the threads here are kind of dirty or whatever, it could gouge into the thread and cause galling and all that stuff. That's what would be my biggest concern, is the galling. So your threads are gunked up. That's you have a higher possibility of that happening. All right, so that's all cleaned up. I'll put this on. Another thing I didn't show you guys with this is that the stock one, it has nothing to stop the lug nuts, right? So your socket will go all the way in and it hit the rim. Whereas this one, it has this little stopper here, where it'll stop the stop the see, because so the stock one, right? It goes all the way in. Oops, wrong size. Look at this here. So it goes all the way in here, like so, right? So the wrench will hit your wheels, whereas with the with this type of nut, it goes in and that stops it. So that way the lug here, the socket here, the tool won't hit your wheels and scratch up your wheels. But for me, it's kind of too late. My wheels are where the things are, the lugs are, they're already all scratched up already, so kind of too late for me. You actually see, well, not the mating surface, but you actually see around, and you can actually see how it's kind of scratched up already. So it's a little bit late for me. So I mean, you have to be real careful to put it on without getting that socket to not scratch your wheels. So that's kind of tough to do. So let's see how far the lugs stick out, because obviously with the stock one, the nuts, it's very short, so the lug nuts are recessed all the way into the lug nut hole here. With these ones, since they're almost twice as long, they stick out just a little bit. They stick out just a little bit, so you'll see them. And I got black instead of, I think they had an option of black or silver. I got black because it's a little bit more low key, so when they stick out, they don't, it's not as obvious. They don't pop out. Whereas the stock one, obviously it's chrome plated, so it sticks out more, pops out more. So normally the normal torque spec on this, if you look at the service manual for this Mazda, the official Mazda service manual says with the stock lugs, it's 80 foot-pounds to, I think, 100 and, oh god, geez, what was it? I think 106 or 108 or something like that. So it has a pretty wide range, very wide range actually. Usually this size lugs, in light of a car, I usually use 80 foot-pounds. But in this case, with this aluminum stuff, I'm gonna use 85 foot-pounds instead of 80. And if you have aluminum lugs, you don't really, if you have lugs that require like 100 plus foot-pounds, man, I don't recommend aluminum lugs at all. And I have to keep an eye on this, because I'm kind of skeptical about using aluminum lugs. It just kind of, I feel a little bit uneasy about it. But a lot of people say they use it for years and it works fine, as long as you have quality aluminum lugs. These ones seem to be, you know, pretty good quality. You know, 7075 T6 cold forge. You don't get better than that. You know, that's about as strong as aluminum as you can get. So let's drop it down. Down to the ground. Now do the final torque. I still always work my way up to the torque. I never go full torque right away. All right, so let's look at them. Let's go from the front view. Can't really tell very much. Yes, if you look carefully, you can actually see the scratching on the rim, on the inside there, from the socket, because it's the stock lugs. You know, don't stop the socket, but that's not really noticeable unless you actually look into it. So it's not quite flush, you know, on this side here, because the rim on this side sticks out more, so it's recessed below that. On the inside, the rim here sits in further, so the lugs actually sticks out further from there. But from the forward angle right there, it looks pretty good. Let's look at it from above, so you can see how far it right? So it doesn't stick out too far, right? You see how out here the rim sticks out further, but on this side the rim, you know, is more recessed in. But I think it looks good. Let's look at it from this angle. Right, so still looks good to me. I think it's just enough. It's just long enough, and you know, just right, I think. So that's it. So those are my new aluminum lugs. You know, I'm all about lightweight. I try to get as lightweight as possible. So that's why I got these. Kind of pricey, you know. These things are like, I think $69.99. So basically about $70, you know, plus shipping. So that's like $80 right there. But you know, this is unsprung weight and rotational mass. Even though it's in this, you know, towards the center, it doesn't make as much of a difference as it is towards the outside of rotation. But you know, every little bit helps with how well it runs and stuff. So anyways, yeah, so that's my aluminum lug nuts. Alright, thanks for watching.